discuss on the role of arts in mental health issues and its benefits. A qualitative analysis by Dr. Nur Hafiza Muhammad Hairun from University College of Yayasan Pahang. Please welcome. Yes, we can see you and we can see your slide. Okay.
Okay, can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes, yes, very clear here. Okay. The floor is yours.
Okay. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and good evening to all the presenters and panels. My name is Nur Hafiza binti Muhammad Khairun. My co-author is Muhammad Firdaus Mat Hussein. I'm from student from University College of Yayasan Pahang. My title of the research is The Role of Art in Mental Health Issues and Its Benefits. So we go through the introduction first. Art serves as a medium or stage for individuals to express and process their emotions through various media, or to put it another way, art serves as a mechanism for the diffusion of emotion based on Tolstoy 1995. According to Watson 2010, without the involvement of therapists, art as therapy is a creative process that is generated as a healing medium. Art therapy, on the other hand, requires the therapist's full attention while the client's emotions are explored through the symbols and meanings found in the paintings created. So basically, art therapy can be said as a potential method that can assist individuals in finding purpose in their life, gaining insight, emotion support, treating trauma, problem solving, also enhancing daily well-being. So for the mental health introductions, individuals' mental health is defined as their recognizing the abilities, self-efficacy, to manage with life stress, work productively, and contribute to their community based on World Health Organization 2003. Those who suffer from this mental illness will encounter a condition in which their mental state will interfere with their daily life, and they will require treatment as soon as possible so that their condition does not worsen, potentially leading to suicide. So there are, I list down two of my literature review. The first one is about the use of arts interventions for mental health and well-being in health setting. The study from Anita Jensen and Lars Olebond conducted in 2018. They suggest that participation in arts activities and clinical arts interventions can be provided more widely in health and social environments. So the second is from Jing Xuan Hu, Jin Kun Zhang, Liu Hu et al., titled Art Therapy, a Complementary Treatment for Mental Disorder. Based on these findings, art therapy can be an effective therapeutic strategy for individuals who want to open up and communicate their feelings, thoughts, and experience. There are three objectives for my research. The first one is identify issues and factors related to mental health among university students in Malaysia. The second one is determining the level of mental health among university students in Malaysia. And the last one is investigate how arts can be harnessed in mental health issues. So for the methodology, I have two methods. The first one is quantitative, which is survey. My respondents is among graduates of universities in Malaysia, involving 150 respondents. The second methodology is qualitative, which is focus group discussion, involving 6 university students from various parts of Malaysia, each with a distinct course background, run through Google Meet, and basically the question are based on mental health and mental health issues and art therapy. So this is my research framework. My research framework is based on my research objective. So the main objective of this research is to examine students' understanding of mental health concerns, as well as the use of art in dealing with mental health issues. So my first findings is based on the survey. As you can see, the first question that I asked is about, I don't think I'll ever be able to move on with my life. According to the frequency analysis table above, up to 37.7% of respondents never felt that they had no chance of getting on with their life. On the other side, up to 6.6% of respondents believe that there is no hope for them to move on in life. The second table is about feeling gloomy, sad, and lacking in enthusiasm. So as you can see, according to the following frequency study, 47% of respondents experience gloom, sadness, and a lack of enthusiasm on occasions. However, up to 4% of respondents had never felt depressed, unhappy, or lack passion. So the next finding is about emotional stress, trauma, heavy workload, and prolonged sadness are the main factors that a student suffers from poor mental health disorder. So according to the above frequency study, emotional stress, trauma, heavy duty dumping, and extended unhappiness are the primary factors of a student suffering from bad mental health issues. As many as 47.7% of respondents agreed. In the meantime, up to 4% of respondents disagree with this statement. The next one is about depression, anxiety, and hallucination, also known as schizophrenia, are common mental health issues among Malaysian students. So according to table 3.2, 43.7% of respondents agreed that stress, anxiety, and hallucinations are common mental health issues among Malaysian students, while just 2.6% disagree. So the next findings are based on focus group discussion. The first problem that we discussed is about knowledge about art therapy. So as a conclusion of overall, this art therapy is based on healing the trauma or self-developmental struggle that each of these people is carrying. Symbolic language will be used to express all emotional experience related with it, rather than oral language, based on Watson 2010. So the next discussion is about the contribution of art therapy from the mental health perspective. Based on Beta Hoffman 2016, art therapy is also an effective way to encourage children grow, which is why it's so popular in schools. Art therapy's wide range of benefits appears to be public interest in this form of therapeutic and educational activity. So the last discussion is about ways to spread the word out about the mental health advantage of art therapy. So apart from the organizations and educational institutions that must be the focal points for the growth of art therapy, society's role in promoting the value of art therapy is also essential. Furthermore, parents have a vital role in establishing in children the importance of art therapy, preferably from a young age. If done at home with parents, the family relationship also will improve. As the conclusion of my research, overall, this study determines students' understanding of mental health issues and the use of art in health-related issues such as factors and even well-being art therapy in the treatment of mental disease. This study suggests that this type of art therapy should be produced again until the majority of Malaysia's population is aware of and understand the commonly discussed mental health issues. Finally, it is hoped that this study will provide benefits and clues to the other researchers to expand further their research. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, the presenter, for this topic. This is a very widely topic, which is that very kind of the popular topics, right? The mental health issues. And I believe that maybe the presenter as a student itself, right? So how you experience of this when you are doing this research stuff. So how you as a student perceive this kind of issue?
So actually, this kind of issues is my favorite issues actually, since we are living in the world of mental health. Mental health issues also are the main problems that we're facing right now, especially for the teens or younger. So from my point of view, from the research that I made, every respondent that I've met, they didn't even know about art therapy itself. But it's not like they didn't know. It's like they didn't aware of art therapy itself. Sometimes what they are doing is art therapy. So basically, most of my respondents is having a mental health issues. So yeah, that's all from me.
Yeah, okay, thank you. All right, so thank you very much, and the presenter. All right, so okay, thank you once again. And then I believe that there's maybe this kind of a questions that we want to ask to the presenter. So please do so in the chat box. So we go for the next presentations. The next presentation is the titles, the co-creations, a case study of Usungan Perit Project by Dr. Muhammad Faizwan bin Mat from University Science Malaysia. Please welcome.
Yeah, thank you, moderator.
Yes. Yes, we can see you and we can see your slides.
All right. All right. Okay. Yeah. My project entitled Cooperation Project. Cooperation, a case study of Usungan Perit project. Myself, Muhammad Faizwan bin Mat, and my co-author, Asnul Jamal Saidun from University Science Malaysia. All right. Before we go further, I'd like to explain a little bit on the introduction. This project explore and discuss the definition, origin, method, practice, context, and potential theorization of cooperation as a form of community engagement through visual art. According to Lee, 2020, the field of visual art in Malaysia for the past 2 decades has been enriched by various new approaches. Locally and internationally, in contemporary art has seen an increased interest in participatory art, which is the general broadly defined by audience engagement. It is often motivated by an ethical push for the greater democratization of art and the stabilization of established institutional authorities. These include community-driven projects such as Project Dialogue Merata Suara, curated by Suzy Sulaiman, Pillars of Sabah by Sabahan artists, Road to Rural Art Experience by Hujung Tanah Art Agency based in Johor, and some of the project by Lost Gen in Kuala Lumpur. Okay, we moving on the objective of the research in relation to this. There are several terms used to represent a community or audience engagement work through arts like socially engaged art, participatory art, social practice art, cooperation, and more. However, the study merely focuses on cooperation definition and concept while exploring the relationship between the arts and cooperation. And the past project that had used the similar concept with selected community. The objective also is to establish a strong case in pursuing an in-depth studio of cooperation, especially in deploying it for the benefit of a particular community, and in addition to explore how cooperation method can be used to improve the relationship between non-art affiliated community and the artistic excellence. And then this is my little bit on the literature review. Of course, we want to know the relationship between visual art and cooperation, how these two term or two concepts can be together. The cooperation in the field of marketing and customer research It emphasized customer interaction and brand name. According to Nonaka 1994, peoples are often connected via social interaction, and organizations constantly trust that communities or customers are part of creating brand's meaning. Cooperation evolves a new paradigm in the customer in the management literature that permits customer and companies to create value through collaboration and interaction. Cooperation has been extensively used the term to differentiate the transition of ideas from organization as value determined to more participatory processes in which people and organizations jointly produce and develop meaning. But in the visual arts, Matarazzo 2017 state that the term cooperation has emerged within the discourse of participatory art. He refers to the participatory art as a creative that involves others in an art in an artist creative process. He further argued that if the definition of participatory art refers to the act of allowing others to become co-artists or co-authors, it will be fair to also call it cooperation. And we're moving on into the methodology of the research. We use a qualitative analysis of Usungan Parade cooperation project at the Khatam Al-Quran event in Kabong, Sarawak, Malaysia as a case study. It explored the experiences and interpretation of the community towards the phenomenon of cooperation. The study was based on a participant observation and interviews with the sample drawn from family leaders, Usungan makers, and audiences. We established 6 factors of community engagement model and cooperation concept on how participants can be evaluated. Then we describe how each family group derives value and interpretation for from their cooperation activities. So in this study, researchers become active participants in the Usungan project. But before that, Usungan is also known as palanquin. Palanquin structure consisting of a chair mounted between the 2 poles, generally used to carry a person and on the person of the status apparent during Khatam Al-Quran event ceremony. The Usungan parade of the Khatam Al-Quran event as a case study to conduct participant observation to explore the cooperation method. Okay. So the cooperation project divided by 2 phases. Phase 1 was happened in the 19th until 35th of November 2018, which is the phase 1 is involved collaborative work between professional artist researchers such as artists, photographers, videographers, curators, illustrators brought to the Kabong at that time to take part in the making of Usungan together. Phase 1 was conducted using a case study involving observing, co-create the Usungan, facilitating, and interview methods. And then this kind of concept also used to have 10 families in Kabong to produce culture Usungan in terms of financial and the artistic advice. And then before that, the cooperation in this case study necessitated that all parties to actively participate in the art making process. So therefore, we designated a few participating families in Kabul to assist in the art making process. So through preliminary studies, we have found that there are several problems that need to be addressed. So before one of the problems is the design of the Sungan or session need to be recorded or documented due to no proper or no professional documentation has been made before, according to the villagers and the Sungan makers. And number 2 is no preliminary sketches or the production of production of Sungan has been made before, because the usungan makers tend to jump into the physical kind of work. There's no such thing as sketches first, then we go to the tangible product. No, and then the material used for this usungan were previously impractical, which is too heavy to carry on. To carry, and then the last one is the practice of the Sungan parade is increasingly forgotten and requires added balancing. Okay, we're moving to the pictures during the event. So this is the Usungan. All right, we're moving on to the phase 2 of the project, which is that was in from 10 to 15 March 2019, which is to kind of a reflection of the project, to do some interview with the participant of the Usungan parade and the project, because we don't want it to be kind of a task and go project. It is crucial to hear and listen to community feedbacks in order for us to improve further. Yeah, I think I don't have time to discuss a previous project that used similar concept of profession, but I try to discuss one of it. There are three of them. That number one is beyond planning 2013 by Ismail ICACH. And then this project Bau. I would like to talk about project Bau because this project was happened in Bandung, Indonesia. In 2015, Era Palasari and Amanuddin from Indonesia conducted a community project called Bau. This project aimed to accommodate and empower members of selected community in encountering critical urban issues through collaboration between cross-country artists, community service organization, and selected community. Which is the idea is to uplift an urban space through active participation of the local community, which is Hera and Ucho invited an artist as well as a social activist from Australia, and then a group of artists via cyber group to realize the project. The project was held in a village called Hergamana, Bandung. It used collage art as a medium of interaction with the community. A series work, a collage made of cut of magazine picture, created collaboratively by the artists and community, were posted on the wall as a final work. The artists only function as facilitators in this project. Were 64 works were created by mothers and their children in this example. The open display allow passerby to witness the artwork because they use a house as a gallery. So this is the project that has been references, has been our guideline to do our Usungan project. So the findings, based on Usungan Cooperation Project and the review project as mentioned just now, this is exploratory study suggested the need for further research into well-being factors and the use of kind of the method to examine the empirical evidence of participant feelings and experience. The finding of this study show some practical implication for both providers, which is artists, and the community villages. The feedback from participants suggest that the researchers need to be clear out about their objective and provide more tasks to develop participants co-creative knowledge. And then the 6 factors and finding from the Usungan Cooperation Project, we evaluate the participant through these 6 factors, which is these 6 factors are developed from the community engagement and cooperation model. The findings are identified from observation, verbal communication such as feedback, non-verbal communication. One of the comments from family leaders after the sketch activity, which is I was enjoy with the drawing activity. I hope that we can do more after this for the children. This indicated that the value of cooperation. We as a provider admitted that the sketch session is not really meant for the children. The first intention is to teach the adults, especially the usungan makers, to do a sketch or drawing before proceeding to the actual usungan making. And in addition, there is a question from the audience: do you do this again next year? I want to take part again, and I want to assist your photographer. This question reaffirms that the participant has shown some loyalty towards the project. And then furthermore, in terms of the advocate factors, we received several comments and questions such as, I will bring my friend to this project next year, and do you come again next year? I will ask my brother to join. Additionally, the participant or villagers show a positive interaction and bonding. For example, 2 families join together to produce the usungan for their children. They tontong the money lah to create usungan for their children. The voluntary spirit among the residents has been seen unusually strong. Yeah. So conclusion, this study has shown how creative individual and artists through cooperation have a significant role to play in promoting a sense of security, shared values, collective identities, cultural ownership, belonging, and togetherness. And he also shown how cooperation can contribute to closing the gap between art and society, especially the non-art related community. The review project also shown that the people in general like to be part of the art making process, art making experience. The project has offer an idea of how societies or communities all over the world can solve critical problems like employment, education, income inequality, healthcare, poverty, and so on. Yeah. As for Usungan Prayer Project, it was well received by the community members, especially in getting members of the community to work together across all levels, from the age of kids to all adults. In fact, most of them said they look forward for the next project, but unfortunately, we have to stop now because of the pandemic. And we do hope that we can do it again next year soon. Therefore, the cooperation method can be better solution to create and enhance the value of art for everyone who is involved in the value chain. By doing that, the arts can be engaging with two-way constructive dialogue where the audience or community is a crucial and valuable resource for innovation and creativity. So this is the diagram or framework. What is this project is all about. Usungan is our culture and heritage, which is happened for more than 100 years. And then we use drawing, painting, sculpture as a medium to work together with the community, and we use the cooperation method in the hope that we promote social well-being. Thank you. That's all.
Okay, thank you very much. So it's interesting. Another interesting topics there that we ponder here is about the Usungan Parade project. We believe that actually, but like you mentioned, that this situation on pandemics is affected so much, right, for the project, because we cannot be in togetherness. But we hope that maybe there is some kind of the steps taken to preserve these activities or not being forgotten, right? Okay, so we'll be preserve to it. Okay, so thank you very much, and I believe there's maybe there's kind of the questions that viewers may ask to the presenter. So thank you once again. Right, thank you very much. Okay, so for the ladies and gentlemen, viewers and the presenters and also participants as well. So actually we have reached to the 13th, the 13th presenter that we have here today. And there's more topics here for this evening session, and will be continued for this 14th presenter. And with that, I hand over this session to my colleagues, Mr. Firdaus. Please hand over to Mr. Firdaus. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Azlina. All right, so our next presenter with the title of Social and Cultural Identity Shifting through Symbolic Meaning in Sweet Soy Sauce Product in Indonesia. So I would like to welcome Yana from Bunda Mulia University. The floor is yours, Yana.
Thank you, Mr. Firdaus. Let me share first. I think I can't share my screen, Mr. Firdaus. Oh, wait. Okay. Okay. Good afternoon to everyone here. Thank you for the opportunity for me to presenting my research with my friends, Shirley Everlyn. Our research entitled Socio-Cultural Identity Shifting through the Symbolic Meaning in Sweet Sauce Products in Indonesia. I'm from Universitas of Bunda Mulia, Jakarta, and I'm also a student of University Science Malaysia. I would like to explain first about my background study. Sweet sauce actually is a kitchen spice that have a sweetened in Indonesia since ancient time, and from several studies that I read, the history of the soy sauce actually back to the 3rd century in Chinese Peninsula when the soy sauce developed rapidly in Asia. In 1933, Japan expelled foreign trading partner and only traded with the Dutch at that time, and then the Dutch East Indies Trade Union had brought the soy sauce to Batavia. But when it come to Batavia, which is Jakarta, soy sauce considered unsold because the taste is not it's not sweet, because a lot of Indonesian people love a sweet, so they given a brown sugar. That's why the sweet soy sauce is known as Indonesia sweetened aromatic soy sauce. Sweet soy sauce was born from the result of acculturation of the local culture with the culture of the immigrant. So it can be said that the sweet soy sauce in each region has a story, culture, and its own uniqueness. And along with the development of over the time, each region sweet sauce must have a visual identity, where according to Alina Wira in Nulandari 2010, the logo is a part of the brand identity that can represent and enhance the brand reputation. The design of logo has a specific purpose, and the purpose visualization of logo, there is a message to be conveyed. And according to the Mott and Satella in Drexel Correal de Mendoza 2019, semiotics itself is a study for about the science that embedded in a human, natural, and machine communication. In sweet sauce in marketing, using a symbol that are used for a visual identity for the brand. Every brand has the historical value, but only a part of it has heritage or superior in its time, and only a smart part is still relevant both in the present and in the future. Various sweet sauce in Indonesia have a symbol that can be analyzed based on their semiotic theory. The legitimacy leads to the link that all the brands have with their own history and legacy. So our research objective is to analyze the visual identity form of Nusantara sweet sauce by using a related theoretical approach. and to explain the meaning that imply in the visual identity of the sweet sauce itself as a form of a culture in every visual form. This is the framework research. So we do an empirical fact by doing a literature data, interview to the expert of to get a expert interview data, and then also do the document observation, and we do the analysis, categorization, classification, and compilation of data, and do the conceptual level using a context and theory of semiotics. The objective is limited to only discussing 7 local sweet sauce brands in Java Island: kecap benteng, kecap korma, ikan lele, kecap laron, THG, and cap ikan dorang. From the literature review, we got that definition of the product actually is anything that can be offered to the market to get the attention for buy, for use, or for consume, and for satisfy a desire or need. Product itself defined as a collection of tangible and intangible attributes, including the packaging, the color, the price, the quality, and also the brand. And in another study of Household, state that the structural element, functional effect, and the appearance of object are all connected with the process of designing of a product. And semiotic affect 3 fundamental aspects of design or product as object-mediated nonverbal communication for social group or individual, as an optimization instrument of interaction between product and human, and also as a perception of aesthetic. From another research, we got that visual language can be a medium of information for the product presented. We get from the research of illustration as a visual language in old powder packaging, semiotic review by Ulita and Satyawa in 2016. And another research, we found that each product packaging is designed with a visual that have a communication sign. The socio-historical analysis rests on the transformation of brand packaging design to refer the complex relationship between design and culture, and provide clue to the interface of market society. It's from Karamulago and Sandiki, 2019. And the result of our study. First, I would like to explain first the 7 analysis of the brand of the ketchup. Ketchup is a sweet soy sauce in bahasa Indonesia. Sweet soy sauce SH is also known as kecap benteng. Benteng is mean of fort, because this sweet sauce come from Tangerang City, and due to the Dutch massacre of Chinese population in Batavia in 1740, Chinese people escaped to Tangerang and Bekasi because it is the nearest city of the Jakarta. The word benteng itself, fort, refer to the fortress along the river in the Tangerang city, built by the Dutch during the colonialism, and then the Chinese who moved from Jakarta then live in that area used to be the fortress. From this occasion, the term of Cina Benteng or Chinese of the fort also was created. SH logo, which borrow the nature of the perspective form of the fort, which is the form of the personification of an object. And then we can see in the label, orange color symbolize the loyalty, sincerity, and purity. In Chinese society, the orange dragon hiding place of the Buddha emperor due to Fu and Chao 2019. And also orange is also a symbol of imperial power as well as sovereignty. There is a whiteboard element which represents the robustness as a fortress, but each end has a rounded end, which is a borrowing element of sweet sauce itself, which is a dynamic, so it appears that the label want to image robustness, but at the same time doesn't want to leave a basic trace of the product. This label follows the narrative code of the cultural code, especially aspect of history and myth. And then the second brand is Cap Korma. Among to the dozen of sweet sauce that we can find in Indonesia, actually Cap Korma is one of the whose taste is very memorable until now. And then Cap Korma also was made by its founder named Khadijah binti Ahmad Assegaf in 1948 in Solo, Central Java. On the label of the sweet sauce korma, there is a clearly various element that have a common trait with Arabic culture. The shape of the dome that used in the name of korma itself, which is a symbolic of the Arab state and Islamic culture, which is strengthened by the first generation owner who are descendants of Arab and Maduris. The dome is considered as one of the most important architectural elements in the architecture of mosque in particular and Islamic architecture in general. I get it from Tara and Matrok in 2019. The combination of the logogram and logotype in visual identity seems that want to strengthen the connotation of korma, that close relationship with its owner. And then we can see the green color, which is perceived as a true symbol of Islam, get a special importance things. In the several number of hadith, we can find that describe a significant meaning of green. And this green as a symbol of the Garden of Heaven evoke a sense of integrity and harmony in Islamic culture. Green symbolizes nature, oasis, life, and rest, and as a symbol of coolness and a symbol of plan. Oh, I get it from Johansson et al. In 2020. By borrowing the cultural code and narrative code, which is referred to the cultural code as emphasized by Bartes, the visual sign in this label is the form of korma. Korma is a dead fruit. Icon, which is that the palm has been attached to the Islamic and Arabic culture. And the dead palm mentioned more than any other fruit-bearing plant in the Quran in 22 times, is a symbol often associated with Muslim, even as the religion has spread around the globe. In the narrative code behind the use of the name brand, it has a relationship with the first generation owner, whereas it is as if we are taught the owner is an Arab who uphold her belief. And then next is Cap THG or THG. It has been 68 years that THG sweet soy sauce, known as a orange red label, accompany every meals of Kudus area in Central Java residence. And above this simple label is written as ketchup, translated as soy sauce, THG, ketchup number 1, THG. The name THG stands for Tan Hui Gong. The person is a pioneer in this sweet sauce business in 1950. Sorry. Sweet sauce THG is very thick. With the old label design style, we can be represented by the repetitive small outline that has become a characteristic of ancient design element, especially in Indonesia. In the visual side that want to emphasize in visual identity, typeface arranged in that way to make a frog eye level, which is mean THG is a big, superior, and highly admired soy sauce in the area. The use of THG itself is based on the first owner, that Tan Hui Gong. So that here the use of typical Chinese element is also included, using a combination of red and orange. Red symbolize happiness, while the orange prosperity, royal, and great. And this label borrow narrative code and cultural code, whereas the visual sign in the form of the THG logotype face has a relationship with the element of the story. And the use of the color, also the decorative element, has a culture that is implied by the Chinese culture and origin culture that has occurred in acculturation. And then next is ikan lele. Ikan lele actually in the bahasa English is catfish. Ikan lele sweet sauce is come from Pati, Central Java, who was founded in 1954 by Pranoto, or the Chinese name is Go Chuan Hock. The development of sweet sauce brand that are already in the market that has not made this soy sauce lose its prestige. According to the manager now, and the younger brother of the Gunawan, of the Pranoto, Gunawan Pranoto, who is the second generation that maintaining the product quality, is the main key to the size of this sweet sauce. This label put forth typography, where the typography is placed with distinctive ribbon element that can emphasize and provide space between visual identity element and other elements. Behind the use of the catfish, which is based on symbolic form, it's turned out that the color element used are closely related to the owner of sweet sauce. They use a red as a form of cultural representation of the owner, which is strengthened by the index element in the form of the owner name that can add and bridge the concept of using the red color element. The label uses a symbolic code which personifies the form of catfish and a cultural code that is not yet seen as a dominant, but we can feel it present. And the next is cap ikan dorang. This sweet sauce label seems highlight two ikan dorang that are swimming. And then according to Wang et al., the color of blue induce positive emotion in Chinese people. And another research also state that blue means a prosperity beside the red color. The use of fish where Mandarin has the same character as abundant or more, or in Chinese writing, they call it yu. A pair of fish swimming symbolize our harmony, marital happiness, peace, and kinship. And it can be drawn that this design label has a symbolic meaning of personification, where the fortune is abundant and there is always a leftover in the following year. The next element is the form of the blue line that symbolizing water, where Chinese culture is a symbol of money, fluency, and success. This label borrow a cultural and symbolic code as a form of visual sign in the form of a pair of dorang fish that's swimming, and several other supporting elements such as the blue line, which is symbolize the water, which is has the meaning of from a Chinese cultural perspective. And next is Cap Laron. Laron soy sauce is one of East Java iconic pride. The quality local sweet sauce has a long history. This Lalong sweet soy sauce factory has pioneered by Yuwono Hadi Susanto in 1945 in Tuban area. And then the name Laron actually taken from the philosophy of the life of the Laron. Laron is termites, which is they always live in the group and help each other and in harmony that never to fight. I got it from Kicap Laron Tuban dan sejarahnya yang legendaris 2019. And visual signs that are displayed in the form of the Laron and roses. As previous mentioned, actually Laron are a group animal that help each other harmoniously and never fight. And looking back to the history of the company, this sweet sauce undergone a leadership relay and become an inheritance, which is the struggle of the descendant of the founding families. With these symbols, the owner wants to be able to spread kindness and help each other in this family business. The element of the illustration of the rose flower hope that this product brand can be sustainable and like a fragrant as the rose flower. It is proven because the Laron sweet sauce is now one of the mandatory gift of Tuban area or is in East Java. And based on the visual marking on this label using a symbolic code. The finding of this 7 analysis of the brand is the result of the analysis of the 7 local Indonesian sweet sauce brand on the island of Java show that each brand carries the cultural characteristic of its owner, and it influenced by the environment of area of this sweet sauce starting in production. The 7 brand analyzed made their brand label design with a touch of their cultural heritage personally. The THD brand emphasized the owner is of Chinese descent, so the design of the label is very influenced by the Chinese culture, as well as what happened to the Korma brand. A sense of Islamic culture is felt in every soy sauce label design. This shows that how proud the brand owner of their own cultural heritage. Color convey meaning, and this can be all seen from the 7 label analyzed because the influence of Islamic and Chinese culture on the island of Java is very high, showing that the meaning of the color of the label leads to the meaning in Islamic and Chinese culture. The conclusion, sweet sauce was born from the result of acculturation of local culture with immigrant culture. So it can be said that sweet soy sauce in each region has a story, has a culture, and has its own uniqueness, which is make it one of the cultural value that have a distinctive of distinct characteristic in each region in Indonesia. Overall, this study show that every aspect of cultural heritage affect the development of packaging design for local product in each region. Each packaging label design try to convey the meaning that are the part of the cultural heritage and imply the expectation of the brand owner for the product. Thank you. That's from me.
Okay, thank you to Yana for such interesting research. When we talk about semiotic research, it always spark interest among those who really understand it. When we talk about signify and signifier, role and bar, and I think it's very interesting, Yana. Good job. Okay, so next presenter will present the title Inventing Apps, Fostering Cooperation and Innovation Through Informality. Okay, please welcome Asmali Haji Sulaiman from University Brunei Darussalam.
Andy.
Hello, hi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Can you see my slide?
Yeah, Doctor.
You can see my slide, yeah. So it's clear, I hope. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah. So I'm here to present my findings here on the topic of inventing apps, fostering cooperation and innovation through informality. let me just start with. Okay. All right. So I'll start with the introduction regarding the idea of innovation and informality. Nowadays, so these days, yeah, where communication is rapid and efficient, there is a high expectation that a balance between informal and informal interactional practices will strengthen cooperative relationships, increase the exchange of innovative knowledge, and consequently help increase innovation and productivity in work. However, there is also a growing concern that as we move forward, that institutional structures will grip society. So formality will would take over, yeah, and make cooperative relationships more rigid and complex. Now, as a result, jobs that require team cooperation will face difficulties in solving work-related problems, building trust amongst team members, and fostering innovation. So the aim of this paper, yeah, is to discuss one of the elements that is necessary for fostering cooperation and innovation, that is informality. You know, obviously, cooperation and innovation, yeah, innovation particularly, yeah, in today's society, yeah, is very much emphasized, yeah, especially to our young generation, so to the young people, in which they are asked to be more innovative, more creative, and so on. Yeah, and we are talking now today about how we can foster, yeah, this innovation of the young people. Yeah, and for this paper, yeah, I based it on research that I've done for my PhD, that is on cooperation and innovation of novice teams, yeah, or novice teams of mobile applications or app developers, yeah, at state-run IT incubation center, yeah, in Brunei Darussalam, yeah, and in my research, I call them the incubatees, you know, because these are, you know, these are new young app developers, yeah, who is restricted in terms of their knowledge in entrepreneurship, yeah, and also in terms of financial, yeah, restriction, yeah, because they don't have, I mean, they just finish university, most of them, yeah, and so they don't have, you know, financial backup, yeah, and since they are, you know, enrolled, yeah, in a IT incubation center, so they depend, yeah, very much on the grant, yeah, given by the incubation center. Now, so the setting for this research is the ICB, yeah, or the what iCenter Brunei, yeah, which is an incubation center located in Kampung Anggrek Desa in the Brunei Muara district. Yeah, this center was established in 2008, yeah, by the Brunei Economic Development Board. Yeah, so as I mentioned, this is a state-run incubation center. This morning when Professor Dr. Ahmad, yeah, the Vice Chancellor, yeah, I think in one of his slides, he mentioned about the developing, how to develop digital training for the young people, yeah, in order to combat poverty, zero hunger. Yeah, and then he mentioned about how government, for example, and as well as industry, yeah, should you know, initiate, yeah, you know, ways to help these young people, yeah, to develop their digital, in a way, digital training or digital economy. Yeah, and as we know, governments and often industries, they are constrained by a lot of formality. Yeah, and this is what the study is about. Yeah, we want to see what is the how can, the thing with informality is that a non-balance between formality and informality will hinder progress in terms of innovation. Yeah, that's the thing. And then if we are to ask government or industry, yeah, to initiate all this process, yeah, or progress, yeah, towards digitalizing or training, digital training, yeah, how can we help these young people, yeah, to nurture, yeah, their innovative side. Now, the Eye Center Brunei, yeah, it was established in 2008. Yeah, so these are not photos from my research. Yeah, I got this from the internet. Yeah, so what happened at the Eye Center Brunei? Yeah, this is just a summary of the setting. Is that the young people, yeah, will come, yeah, and then we'll talk to the Eye Center and said, oh, we want to start this project or so on, the Eye Center is not just about people who build apps, yeah, but also in any other digital project and so on, yeah. So what happened is that the Eye Center will help them, yeah, and then they will come in, yeah, to the Eye Center, and they will be given spaces, yeah, as their office, yeah, at the Eye Center, and then they will be supervised. Yeah, and also they will be given workshops and so on to help them, progress. Yeah, and obviously you can see in this picture here, this is probably like one of the initial process. Yeah, and then you have like the developers. Yeah, probably will present their project. Yeah, and then this is the more like, because the Eye Center will send some of these people, yeah, those with good projects and so on abroad, yeah, to do pitching, yeah, to angel investors, yeah, so that other investors can, look into their work, and probably if they're interested, then they can invest in those teams, yeah. And this is what is currently next to the Eye Center, which is what another project by the BDB Brunei. Yeah, it's a technology hub center. Yeah. So the literature review, yeah, for this research, yeah. Can I just? I'm trying to. Sorry. Now the literature review for this research is based on this theory, yeah, by Beaker, yeah, the social construction of technology, in which this theory contends that the development of a certain technological artifact cannot be solely reasoned on science alone. Now, of course, in this Scott theory, yeah, we believe, yeah, in sociology, for example, that any technology, yeah, needs societal input, yeah, and so the Scott theory is basically about trying to establish, how certain technology grow, yeah, how it is improved, yeah, and obviously, as we know, certain technology cannot improve without the user, yeah, so there must be a relationship between technologies and users. Now, so for this research itself, yeah, because from what I studied, yeah, the Scott theory is often used to link, yeah, between technologies and users, yeah. But for my research, I try to go into the technologies themselves. Yeah, I try to look at them, the relations, yeah, the imperative role in the development and social relationships, yeah, among technologies, yeah, in terms of their, sorry, what happened here? Yeah, in terms of their, what is their social relationships? How can they foster, yeah, their innovative side, yeah. So, and so to do that, yeah, I have to look into okay, sorry, I have to look into, not just in terms of Scott theory, but also in terms of other aspects. For example, in terms of cooperation, and also in terms of informality. Now, so it is evident, from the existing literature that cooperation mostly agrees that cooperation in modern society and organization is attained both by formal and informal conditions. And in fact, existing social science literature on cooperation strongly suggests that the informal side is more effective in fostering successful operation. And then this was proved by many studies. Now, Sennett, Richard Sennett suggests that cooperation and informality could work side by side when strong informal bonds are forged at work. So he exemplifies this using the social triangle, in which, according to him, this social triangle creates a bond of civility between the workers and their superior. And although such method does not transform work into Eden, but does make work experience something more than soulless, it countervails against formal isolation. Now, Mizell, for example, I was privileged to work with Professor Barbara Mizell at the University of Leicester. And so she mentioned in her book that we need on informality, that we need to find a balance between formality and informality to find solution to the problem of cooperation. So sorry, moving to so in her book, Barbara Mizell talks about symbolic interactionism. This is another theoretical framework that I'm using in my to analyze all my data. So Barbara Mizell, she used symbolic interactionism from the perspective of a well-known symbolic interactionist, government Mead, Giddens, Bloomer, to name a few. For this research, I will contextualize the meaning of informality within the study as those incorporating the sociology of culture, sociology of organization, and sociology of work. So that's the meaning of informality. The study will refer to any form of casual daily situations and actions that benefit people in formal institutions through its convenient usage. In addition, the study also agrees with Mizell definition of informality, that is in the form of interaction among partners engaging in dialogue, the rules of which are not pre-designed, enjoying relative freedom interpretation of their roles requirement. So the methodology, I don't want to go a lot through this, because of our limited time. So for this research, I used qualitative interviewing, to acquire my data, in the form of semi-structured interviews. So I interviewed a total of 18, so 18 people. So 11 are the incubatives, from 4 different teams, at the ICB. And the rest are the officials, at ICD. Now let's go to the more interesting part, which is the findings of this study. So there are 3 sections for the findings of this study. That is on informality and workplace culture, informality and social interaction and situational interaction, and informality and emotion. So quickly, I'm not going to present the whole thing. I'm just going to take snippets of what I have gained from my findings, from my research. Corresponding with Nizal, perspective on the definition of informality, which incorporates interaction, non-pre-designed rules, and freedom in role-playing, it could be seen that a way for the incubatees to come up with innovative ideas was through informal means of playing, having fun, and engaging with dialogues. Yeah? So the following excerpt illustrates on the manner in which the incubatees derive their innovative ideas. Yeah? So this is the quote, yeah, one of the quote from this the incubatees. Yeah, we are always relaxed. Yeah, because you see, if we overthink it, then we are overkilling it. Yeah, so he was talking about innovation. Yeah, when you know that trying to get idea of how to develop an apps. Yeah, or build an app. Yeah, so if we are not overthinking about it, it is just going to go. Yeah. Then, oh wait, yeah, I got an idea. Yeah, so and we had that so many times. We just stop working and play games or watch videos. We pause, oh, I got an idea, and that happens more. Yeah, so playing, yeah, according to Misal, or symbolic interactionist approach, yeah, this is a form of informality. Yeah, so according to Judkins, being playful is crucial. Yes, it could help generate ideas. Yeah, in fact, he further argued that children tends to be more creative, yeah, due to their playfulness, and adults are lacking such creativity because they fear being wrong, judged, or laughed at. Yeah, so because we already, you know, because we fear of being embarrassed, you know, or being judged. Yeah. So the adults, as Judkins said, that we lack creativity. Yeah. Now, there's formal ways of doing work that are more goals-oriented, systematic, and bound by organizational rules and policies, are deliberately rejected by the ICB incubatees, yeah, in favor of more informal approach. Yeah, so just to give you an idea of the ICB, yeah, as I mentioned, the ICB is a formal institution. Yeah, it is run by the government, yeah, under the Brunei Economic Development Board. Yeah, so you just assume, no, not just assume, but you can imagine, yeah, that it is a formal institution. Yeah, but the incubatees, yeah, in that institutions prefer to act in an informal way. Yeah, even during my research, I can see that the way they decorate their office, the way they interact with their colleague, or even interacting with the officials, yeah, at the ICB, are mostly informal. Yeah. Now, another here one category of the findings in relation to the social informality and social interaction. You can see the quote there. Yeah, we don't have to be so serious. Yeah, that's what I like. Yeah, like we don't have to be formal to each other. Yeah, most of the time, we know when to do it, but most of the time, yeah, it's mostly swear words flying around and not being formal. That's what I like. Yeah, so the use of swear words, yeah, indicates other forms of interaction, which in these circumstances signifies a co-present interaction. Yeah, where both informality and intimacy occur together. Yeah, this sort of informal, intimate interaction, as Goffman suggested, indicates people's attempt to project their true selves. Yeah, in addition, the act of swearing in their casual interactions also signifies a symbolic, meaningful act amongst the incubatees, yeah, which, according to Giddens, connotes a secondary meaning. Thus, in this case, swearing is seen as a form of informal interaction that is face-to-face, intimate, private, less rigid, less controlled interactions, yeah, which has its functionality and is necessary across varieties of tasks. However, most importantly, the informality of the nature of such interactions, or in this context, the swearing has the potential to draw individuals deeper into relationships with one another, and thereby offer a fuller sense of individual recognition and trust. Yeah, so swearing, it doesn't mean that swearing is always bad. Yeah, in fact, yeah, as seen here, swearing can also lead to more cooperation and more innovation. Yeah?
Sorry to interrupt you, Doctor. It's just a few minutes for your presentation.
Okay,
sorry.
Just okay. So give me just like 1 or 2 minutes, okay? Yeah. So another findings here is that informality. Okay, so I'll just skip here. Informality and emotion. Yeah. So you can read the excerpt here. Yeah. I feel that right now I have the best team, and that's what I feel honestly through my years of experience. The team that I have right now is the most that I'm satisfied with. To me, they are more than just my team; they're actually my family. Yeah, so being able to relate, yeah, or to develop a relationship with their own teams, yeah. So they develop a close relations, yeah, with each other, yeah. And if we look at this and analyze, yeah, this data using the symbolic interactionist perspective, yeah, so we can see that this kind of relationship is an informal ways, yeah, of trying to get to know people, and then also, you know, with this it will develop cooperation, yeah, and in developing cooperation it will develop trust, and also it will develop more innovation, yeah, in terms of you know, in terms of developing, in this case, their apps, yeah. Now in conclusion, yeah, we can see that informality, yeah, as I mentioned, is an important aspect, yeah, that we need to look into. Yeah. Now with the COVID-19 situation, we are gripped, yeah, by a lot of formality. Yeah. I think Malaysia has it. Sekatan pergerakan or something. Sorry, yeah. And then with this, we are bombarded with a lot of formality by institutions. Yeah? Institutions from Ministry of this, Ministry of that. In Brunei, the same thing. Yeah, where we have Ministry of Internal Affairs, Ministry of Health, and so a lot of formality. Yeah. And then when this morning, when Professor Dato mentioned about government and industry should help in building the digital training for these young people, I was wondering, if this can be done, without much formality. Yeah, and in which we can maybe balance between informality and formality. Then if we can do that, yeah, then I'm sure we can help the young generations to achieve more of their dreams, yeah, to become more innovative, and then and to be more successful. Yeah, so thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Smali, for your presentation. Okay, I bet this is related to the information technology and whatsoever.
Yes.
So thank you. Our next presenter, with the title "A Study of Development of Cucuk Sanggul Design in the 17th Century." So this is a video presentation from ICA Afrika Isnin, University Technology Mara Shah Alam.
Assalamualaikum and very good morning. My name is Aika Afrika binti Isnin, student PhD with ITM Shah Alam. Today I will represent my research paper, a study on symbolism and development of Cucuk Sanggul design in the 17th century. So let's start. Cucuk Sanggul is an object often used in the community, especially when conducting ceremony and traditional including wedding, which is a popular practice among Malay community. Generally, Cucuk Sanggul known as a symbol for the Malay community to deliver a purpose and desire. In Malay culture, which is also known as a status symbol of elegance, luxury, and kasta according to Anwar Din 2007. Cucuk Sanggul also known as a Pacak Sanggul. In the Malay world, Cucuk Sanggul is known as a tusuk konde. The Cucuk Sanggul is divided into two components, which is head and a body. The head part usually round in shape and the side is quite large depending on the type of motif and the taste of the wearer. There is a part of Cucuk Sanggul head a small secret storage and is hiding in a beautiful decorative design, while on the body can reach a height of 8 until 13 cm. The height of the Cucuk Sanggul is depend on the thickness of the hair and the way it's inserted. There are 10 types of cucuk sanggul, which are cucuk sanggul getah, cucuk sanggul keping, cucuk sanggul pecah 5, cucuk sanggul pecah 6, cucuk sanggul sudu, cucuk sanggul jura, and many more. So, cultural heritage can grow in our country industry and require more in-depth exposure to build all intent and play form in a cucuk sanggul income in this industry. Generally, the approach to retain this Malay traditional item can be developed based on all the information on cultural heritage traditional of the community. So, cucuk sanggul accessory is one of the best accessory created by Malay craft artists in the art of metalworking. The cucuk sanggul accessory display uniqueness on the shape and variety, decoration, and symbolize its own identity. So, in addition, cucuk sanggul is also known as the ultimate accessory in the accessory Malay ornament worn on the head. The cucuk sanggul accessory worn by the previous society when decorating themselves and is a complement wearing traditional Malay clothing and ceremonial clothing. So, cucuk sanggul was also one of the travel of the Portuguese Malay, Indian, and Baba Nyonya. So, in the old day, most Malay women used hairpin to comb their hair and straighten the bun on the hair so neat and beautiful. The daily use of cucuk sanggul is one for one set only, while for bride and the dancer they use 3, 5, 7 of set cucuk sanggul. So this is my objective and methodology. I have two research objectives. First of all is to identify the development of cucuk sanggul. Second one is to analyze the meaning of motif and design that found in cucuk sanggul. So this is my framework of methodology. My title, after that we go into problem identification. Objective, method is qualitative, and I'm divided into primary data and secondary data. So I have interview, data collection, offline publication, and online publication. After we got all data collection, we go to other data analysis to make a finding, conclusion, and recommendation. So this is my finding for this research paper. So we are conduct in several museum and collector that have been chosen based on the collection of Malay cucuk sanggul, which are located around. 4 samples of cucuk sanggul were observed from Museum Pahang according to the selected years, which is 17th century. So we got 4 cucuk sanggul. So based on figure 1 above, there are 3 cucuk sanggul in cucuk sanggul selak. Shape is more common use in the Malay community until today. There is only one material used in 4 types of cucuk sanggul. It's a copper and it's a material the most often used in this country. The material for every cucuk sanggul play an important role is represent the status of the owner and their class. However, there are also cucuk sanggul done for ordinary people such as copper. So, the motif of cucuk sanggul were divided into 4, which is flora, fauna, geometric, and alam benda. So, this cucuk sanggul also used by the ordinary people. And one of the cucuk sanggul, one piece of cucuk sanggul used by the shaman. So, we're going to sample cucuk sanggul. So, first of all is cucuk sanggul selat 1852. They're using flora motif, which is bunga ketolak and bunga kembang semangkuk. The cucuk sanggul selak from 1852 using iron, copper. Cucuk sanggul selak usually only single motif, do not use any combination. So this motif is organic shape, petolak is vernacular name. So it's believed to originate from India to Australia. In Malaysia, ketolak is grown in the garden or around the house. So ketolak tree is a climbing plant that has long sucker. So basically, the interesting meaning between the choosing of motif because it be used in ingredient for medical purpose. So basically, they're using for cure skin diseases. It's also very suitable and herbal drink for those who have just given birth. And bunga kembang semangkuk also have popular in South Asia and also be a medical purpose such fever, asthma. The second one is cucuk sanggul selak 1852. This is a uniqueness of cucuk sanggul design. Okay, so based on table 3, the cucuk sanggul was made in 1852 using a single motif that categorized as a flora. The cucuk sanggul is made of copper caught iron to look like a silver. The cucuk sanggul is only used in one set because the size of cucuk sanggul is bigger than other of cucuk sanggul. So the size of cucuk sanggul is 15 cm and the diameter is like 6 to 7 cm. So the only motif used from the category of flora is a bunga Cina. So the significant name of this bunga Cina is Gardenia augusta. So he grown in Southern Asia. So this bunga Cina is famous to often use a source of color, especially the yellow color, used in a food such as cake, ice cream, peanut porridge, sweet, and many more. So bunga Cina also used to be medicine to treat diseases such as diabetes. So we could influence this bunga Cina to make a medicine according to traditional Chinese medicine to treat a fever, eye pain, acute hepatitis. So the third one is cucuk sanggul selat 1854. They are using combination motif, bunga flora and geometry. So referring to the table 4, the cucuk sanggul is known as cucuk sanggul selat, which was designed in 1854. Category as a cucuk sanggul selat because it have two component body and stem is separately. Okay, the design use a flora motif is believed to have been influenced by Malay. Cucuk sanggul use combination motifs such as flora and geometry. So the sunflower also have a medicine purpose, but in the round geometry is significant by the perfectionist in life, in the world, and the hereafter. So the fourth one or the final one is the development of design. For 1 until 3 cucuk sanggul, we are going to cucuk sanggul selat only. But in the 1856, we are going to the development of design. We got a cucuk sanggul jurai, the uniqueness one. The table 5, this cucuk sanggul is known as a cucuk sanggul jurai, which has designed in 1856. The design used a combination motif because it is believed to have been influenced by the Buddha. Cucuk sanggul used a fish motif showing the Malay culture has been influenced from the outside because of the strategic position of Malaya at the time. So according to the Haiza, this combination motif represents 4 elements including earth, water, fire and wine. So the fish motif was chosen to show the water element, the Buddhist belief, fortune telling, and sometimes they use a motif for ikan because fish is one of the economic for the Malay people, which are the fishermen. So obo is referred to the fire element, and bunga kangkung is one of the medicine also. So this cucuk sanggul is worn by the shaman, village shaman. According to their material, they're not using any batu akik or gemstone. So the kasta of the shaman. So the selamat is cucuk sanggul teguh. This is the latest cucuk sanggul that I found. So they are using a betel leaf, bunga daun sirih. So it is a motif from the Malay, influenced by the Malay community, because it referred to sirih junjung. So it is one of the Malay commission in the past usually give a sirih junjung to the guests who came to visit the house. So, but the in the traditional medicine, betel is widely used especially for diseases also. So my result in material and design of cucuk sanggul. So 1852, they are using material copper. The design of cucuk sanggul selat 1852. They are also two design. Cucuk sanggul selat 1854. They are using copper. 1856. They also use a silver. So according to the study that have been done in the 17th century, this has not had a rapid development in terms of material used in producing cucuk sanggul, Most of craftsmanship choose copper and silver material as the basic material for making cucuk sanggul. The 17th century, the design of the cucuk sanggul is also not a very heavy and lavish, only use a single motif compared to other cucuk sanggul. The cucuk sanggul selat is one of the simple and minimal cucuk sanggul, usually the size of cucuk sanggul from 8 until 11, sometimes with a bigger until 15 centimeter, with a diameter 6 or 7. The design is just a pencil like a stick. So the various of design material that now in this 17th century that now all that doesn't have use batu akik, batu delima and so on. However, this century development motif can be seen from the selection of flora and motif turn of the flora and fauna because the Malay were influenced by the Hindu and Buddhist. By the end of the century, had grown rapidly and motif forbidden of animal and anatomy figure began to apparent because Islam forbade it. So the conclusion for my research paper, throughout the study, the cucuk sanggul play an important role in the Malay community. It has a variety of form, function and meaning as an interest depending on the ceremony. Occasion and usefulness, cultural and artistic craft should be maintained and preserved, especially for young generation. The aesthetic value of Malay cucuk sanggul are associated with intrinsic or implicit meaning in the aspect of the philosophy, values, belief, principle, and norms. The beauty of cucuk sanggul convey intelligence, sensitivity, and creativity. Cucuk sanggul is now available in various designs that serve souvenir. This link on the nation heritage should continue to exist in everyday life as a symbol of modesty and courtesy as the Malay community is its value. Due to the lack documentation about the Malay cucuk sanggul, especially in the content of meaning, it's a honor to see the research will be further exposed on the symbolism of Malay cucuk sanggul and philosophy in Malay society. The development of form of cucuk sanggul can be more specific, such as the Malay cucuk sanggul version through design transformation, including the evolution and its change. So that's all for me. Thank you for your time.
Okay, that's all the presentation from Aina Afika Isnin from University Technology Mara. So we move to our second last presenter for today. So with the title Merantau Minangkabau, a reflection of Minangkabau's tradition in Hamka's novel. And please welcome Pardi from University of Sumatera Utara, Medan, Indonesia. Please welcome.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Is it clear, my voice?
Clear, Doctor.
Okay. Okay. My name Pardi. I am from Universitas Islam Sumatera Utara. I am a student at University of Sumatera Utara, Faculty of Cultural Science. My paper is about Merantau Minangkabau, a reflection of Minangkabau's tradition in Hamka's novel. The background of this study is that merantau is a social phenomenon of Minangkabau's society. It is a tradition and cultural heritage which had existed from a long time ago. However, many literary works tells about this phenomenon as its background. Also, Hamka's novels such as Merantau ke Delhi and Tenggelamnya Kapal Panderwich have been written with this culture as the background. The objective of this study are to find out and to describe how far the phenomenon in Hamka's novel is as the reflection of the reality. The focus of this study is on the causes and the aims of Merantau Minangkabau. This study is based on the theory and concept of Kato, Naim, and Feli. It can be concluded that Merantau Minangkabau is a form of a cultural tradition that is institutional, which generally performed by young men to earn money, to seek knowledge, to seek experience, and also to perform cultural mission. And also based on Lucien Goldman theory about structuralism genetics, which states that structuralism genetics is an analysis with emphasis on the intrinsic elements of literary works, author background, and also social life of the society. The method used in this study is that qualitative research method. Data were collected from the novels, and by interviewing selected Minangkabaunese men in Medan, using an in-depth interview technique. The analysis firstly begin with the analysis of the intrinsic elements in literary works, partially or in a whole way, based on assumption that structuralism genetics cannot be separated from its elements that build the literary works. Then the result is related to the analysis of social and historical background, which contributed the creation of the literary review as the form of the social reality. Okay, the result of this study or analysis shows that Merantau as a tradition of Minangkabaunese society portrayed in the novel is the reflection of the reality. The main reasons for Merantau are economics, social, education, and city attraction factors. How difficult to live in the village because of lack of money, poverty is as an economic factors. A kinship system with its matriarchy or matrilineal rules embraced by society is a social factor. The urge to be educated is as the education factor, and also nomads' success in the city becomes a city attraction for them to follow. Okay, the result can be seen in the table below. The dominant factors is economics, which happen in reality and in the novel. Tika VDW adalah is abbreviation of tenggelamnya kapal Vanderwich. MKD is abbreviation for merantau ke Delhi. And the second factors is education. It's only exists or portray in novel tenggelamnya kapal Vanderwich. City attractions portrayed in the two novels, and politics, there is no portrayal in the novels, and a social factor portrayed in novel Merantau ke Delhi and also tenggelamnya kapal Vanderwich. So it's the cause factors are relevant or with the reality at the time the novel is created. it based on the data taken from the informant. Okay, the result also show that the aims of merantau are to become rich, or to seek wealthy, to seek knowledge, to seek experience, and also as cultural mission. Cultural mission, this is the aspect that makes merantau Minangkabau is different with the other merantau. They usually send the money or to village to build a house, a big house, and to buy a rice field for their family, because we know as a community with a matrilineal rules, woman has more control on the wealthy or the house of family. Okay, it can be seen in the table below. The aims of merantau is that the aims of merantau to seek poverty or money, to be educated, to seek experience, and cultural mission. In the novel, to seek poverty or money is only exists or portrayed in Tenggelamnya Kapal Van der Wijk and Merantau ke Delhi. The study also the aims of merantau to be educated only portrayed on Tenggelamnya Kapal Van der Wijk. To seek experience portrayed in Tenggelamnya Kapal Van der Wijk and also in Merantau ke Delhi, and cultural missions only portrayed on Merantau ke Delhi. The author portrayed a cultural mission through the protagonist, Leman, a young man from Minangkabau, which married a Japanese woman, Ponium, and because the matriarchy system, he has to marry a Minangkabaunese woman. So he married Mariatun as his second woman, as his second wife, and then he sent the money and to build a house for his daughter and buy rice field for his daughter also in the village Minangkabau. Okay, from the analysis, it can be concluded that Merantau Minangkabau, Merantau Minangkabau in Tenggelamnya Kapal Van der Wijk and Merantau ke Delhi is a reflection of the reality at the time the novel create. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you to Dr. Pardi for insightful presentation today. So now we are moving to our last presenter for today with the title Developing Model of Stunting Intervention by Empowering Local Community. Please welcome Sukma Elida from University of Teuku Umar, Aceh Barat, Indonesia. And I think this is a video presentation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see you. My name is Sukma Elida. This afternoon, I would like to inform you about the result of our recent research. So I will share the screen. Okay, this is our paper. The title is Developing Model of Stunting Intervention by Empowering Local Community. And here are the team member, Enda Sylvia Putri, Firman Farlindungan, and Arfa Husna. So what is stunting? Stunting is one of important indicator that show health status in certain area. Stunting also serious problem experienced in toddler in the world, especially in developing country like Indonesia. This picture show us the differences of child with stunting, child suffer stunting, and normal child. This graph show us the prevalence of stunting in the world or globally, especially in countries in Southeast Asia, and Indonesia, one of the highest. And then this graph show prevalence of stunting in Indonesia, and Aceh province is top 5 prevalence of stunting. And then this graph show us context, cause, and consequences of stunting. And stunting caused by several factors like maternal factor, home environment, inadequate breastfeeding practice, inadequate complementary feeding practice, poor quality foods, food and water safety, and clinic and subclinical infection. And then we see with community and social factor context, there are political economy, health and healthcare, education, society and culture, agriculture and food systems, water, sanitation, and environment. This table show us consequences of stunting, and stunting can affect 3 variables that are health, developmental, and economic. Stunting can cause premature death and then infection disease such as diarrhea, and then pneumonia and measles. Stunting also can affect developmental of children, like motor skill of children, delay in sitting, standing, or walking. Stunting also can affect cognitive development of children, like delay learning. And of course, stunting can affect economic factor like health costs. The purpose of this study is to provide evidence-based solution to stunting problem in West Aceh District by developing a stunting intervention model involving local community participation. The research design used a one-group pre-test, post-test experiment for village with high case of stunting in Kawai 16 sub-district become the locus of intervention. The research was carried out for 6 months from August to December 2021. Here is some cause of stunting. There are 4 factors: maternal factors, inadequate child feeding, education, and society and culture. So this factor we choose to be interfere with our model intervention. And this is our model intervention. Here are 3 indicators related with stunting. The first one, pregnant woman with chronic energy deficiency, and then low birth weight. And the last one is wasting on toddlers. So we measure the indicator in the beginning of the study. And then we do some strategy to prevent and reduce case of stunting. The strategies are: the first one, provision of data on stunting prone groups. The second one, nutrition education for prospective brides, pregnant women, and mother with toddlers at risk of stunting. And then assistance in processing additional food based on local food. And then strengthening stunting surveillance for village cadre. And then empowerment of religious leaders as stunting education's agent. And the last one is monitoring of eating pattern with the food recall method. And then we measure again the 3 indicators like in the beginning of study. And the result of our study is the findings show that there was significant decrease in indicator of condition related to stunting in village after 6 months of intervention compared to cases before the intervention. The decrease include the number of cases of pregnant women with chronic energy deficiency, low birth weight, and wasting on toddlers. And our recommendation says, this study informed educators, researchers, and policymakers about a culturally relevant intervention for stunting, which might be applicable in other contexts. And thank you.
Okay, thank you to the insightful presentation. Even though it's just a video presentation, but it's very good topic to be discussed and related to the culture. All right, so this concludes our paper presentation for day 1. Just a reminder, please join us again tomorrow for second and the last day of conference. And link will be open at 9 a.m. And thank you all for attending, for your time, for your participation throughout this day 1 conference. And we hope you have learned and enjoyed this presentation from all our presenters for today. So that's all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.